Hi, imagine this. It's the final day of a sprint at DevRev. The team gathers, exhausted but eager to reflect. Conversations fly about tasks completed, blockers faced, and lessons learned. But amidst all the chatter, something gets lost: clarity. Hours pass and the team scrambles to put together what went well and what did not. Sound familiar? That's because sprint reviews can often feel like finding a proverbial needle in a haystack, a task that's just as tedious as the sprint itself. Now imagine if you had a teammate who could instantly make sense of all this chaos, neatly presenting everything you need to know: what went well, what needs improvement, and how can the next sprint be better. And that teammate is the Sprint Summariser, an AI powered assistant designed to transform sprint reviews from chaos to clarity. Let me show you how it works and why your team at DevRev will never want to sprint without it. Now, let us start by activating the snap-in in the DevRev web app. Configure the snap-in by feeding the correct Slack webhook URL. And then moving on to the sprint board, the sprint consists of multiple issues. To trigger the snap-in, an issue belonging to an active sprint needs to be updated or a new issue needs to be created. That is, work created or work updated event should occur. Also, it is made sure that this happens only for the first time when a work is created or updated in a particular sprint, and any subsequent event will not be scheduling a different sprint and summary. One added feature to our sprint summarizer is the mid sprint alert, which is a checkpoint conducted midway through a sprint to review progress based on the so far obtained velocity and assess the status of tasks or issues, and then list the open issues based on their priority. It helps ensure the sprint is on track to achieve its goals. Well, in real world scenarios, the mid sprint alert feature is designed to trigger precisely at the halfway point of the sprint duration. However, for demonstration purposes in this video, the code has been adjusted to schedule it instantaneously. This is how a mid sprint alert looks like. As mentioned before, there are issues listed based on priority. The alert also shows the achieved velocity so far, the target velocity, and the remaining velocity. As soon as the sprint ends, we will receive a sprint summary in the Slack channel. The one you see over here is a sprint overview. It has details like the start date and end date of the sprint, velocity of the sprint, and the sprint grade. It briefs you about what went well and what did not during the course of the sprint. It gives you retrospective insights on what can be improved, and also comparison with the previous sprints will also be given, which is followed by listing of all the open, closed, and in progress issues with their priorities and the part which they belong to. Now, coming to the extra features, we have our mid sprint alert, which I have already briefed about earlier. Next is the sprint velocity, that includes planned sprint velocity and actual attained sprint velocity, both calculated based on the number of issues present or completed and priorities of each issue, which is followed by a sprint grading system, which grades the performance of each sprint by categorizing it into exceptional, good, satisfactory, needs improvement, or poor. This is done by calculating the percentage of achieved sprint velocity over the planned sprint velocity. Another additional feature is sprint comparison. It gives additional insights on velocity, blockers, and issue completion trends, including recommendation in comparison to the previous sprints. So, to understand how all of this works, let us dive into the workflow of the Snap-in and how it transforms sprint management into an AI powered experience. So, all of this begins when a user creates or updates an issue within an active sprint. This action triggers a work created or a work updated event through DevRev's webhook system. This triggered event is sent directly to Snap-in, which acts as the brain of the system. So once the Snap-in receives the event, it schedules two critical tasks. The first one, a mid-sprint alert to ensure timely check-ins. And second one is a sprint end event to summarize the sprint. Simultaneously, the Snap-in begins aggregating data. To do this, it fetches all issue details from the sprint using DevRev's work.list API. Then, the Snap-in filters open issues, sorts them by priority, calculates the velocity achieved so far, and the remaining velocity for the sprint. All this information is sent as a mid-sprint alert to Slack channel. The sprint issue data is then formatted, calculating the sprint velocity, grading progress, and referencing the previous sprint summary. This is used to construct a detailed prompt. Next, this formatted data is sent to the OpenAI API, which analyzes it and generates actionable insights. The API produces a polished sprint summary highlighting progress, areas of development, and next steps. Finally, the generated summary is delivered through Slack webhook, which posts the summary directly to the team's Slack channel for easy access. In essence, the Snap-in seamlessly bridges DevRev, OpenAI, and Slack, automating sprint management and empowering teams with actionable insights. This efficient workflow saves time, reduces manual effort, and ensures every sprint delivers value. So, that is all about my work. Thank you.